What's going on, friends? Welcome to episode 8. Wait, I'm black, but I'm not that black. All right, there we go. Episode 8. Let's go. Bam! All right, what's going on, friends? Welcome to episode 8 of Tech Talk. I'm your host, Stephen Rowe, where it's my job to share the latest digital tactics, strategy, and trends of the World Wide Web. And this is episode 8. We're taking it in 3 parts, as always. Part 1, headlines and current events. I've got 3 good stories for you. Number 1, TikTok says it's passed 1 billion users. A billion users is a big deal. That's a lot of people, and really showing the short form video platform is now on par with Instagram in terms of users, and it's growing even faster. And that's a key consideration for a lot of us out there who are doing social media marketing. I know it was Woody Allen who famously said 80% of success is showing up. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you have to use TikTok, but you should consider, especially moving into 2022, showing up on a new social media platform, where the youth are especially. And if the movement that you are a part of, hopefully the conservative movement, wants to capture more young voters, then you and I need to play offense. And about 4 million people in America turn 18 every single year. And so think about TikTok, think about Snapchat, think about Instagram, think about YouTube, but go to a new platform next year and it's going to make a big deal. Let's go to story number 2. There's been a dramatic increase in election text messaging, and it's a bad thing that they work so well because my phone gets blown up by these things, like 10 a day. Very annoying. But it's all about the person's mindset. When you go to check your phone, you're prepared to make those action-based decisions. That isn't necessarily the case when you're scrolling through your Facebook looking for cute photos of dogs. And there was a recent study done by Tantango, and they studied both the 2016 and 2020 election, same survey to the same group of people, the same sample size. And in 2016, only 19% of voters said that text messaging was the best way to reach them. But by the time the 2020 election rolled around, an incredible 78%. That's so many people. 78% of voters said that text messaging was the fastest way to reach them. And so don't expect these to go away. Occasional misfires aside, these are raising tons of money and have a dramatic open rate that boasts over 90%. Even if you don't respond to these text messages, you're opening these text messages. In my case, I think about my email, and sometimes there's a lot of unread messages in there. But when it's my text messages, those are things I want to kind of look at instantly. And that's the same behavior of a lot of us out there. So watch out for more texts coming your way, especially as we ramp up next year in the 2022. And the third story, of course, is why Facebook and Instagram went down last week. And on Monday, of course, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram went down for about 6 hours, which felt like an eternity. And I know Twitter was probably having the best day of its life. And I saw some amazing high-quality memes attacking Facebook. But what actually happened there for a second? Well, essentially what happened is an update to Facebook's routers that coordinate the network traffic went wrong. And what happens is it's between Facebook and the Border Gateway Protocol. And for those of us that really don't know what that is, essentially it's a vital tool underlying the internet. But at the end of the day, you can think of it a lot like a GPS. When you want to get from point A to point B, you type it in your GPS and you arrive there. Well, for computers, if you were a server trying to access that website, typically you go through DNS, domain name server. And that way it's not like a jumbled group of numbers, but you can beautifully type in facebook.com. But basically the map wasn't there. So, if X is on the treasure map, you couldn't find the treasure, which was Facebook in this particular circumstance. Computers were lost, and unfortunately that means you weren't able to access their servers and receive the experience that you're used to. And when a company can't use that gateway protocol, basically it just means that they're offline. And that's what happened for a lot of us. And it took a long time to fix. Of course, a lot of Facebook's security protocols were also embedded with its website. So there were many employees that couldn't get into their buildings to fix the problem. Definitely a nightmare. But that's basically what happened. And hopefully it doesn't happen again. But all right, let's hop over to part 2 of Tech Talk, episode 8, Tactics and Strategy. And today, I want to talk about the 4 components of a good first impression. And this matters a lot for your profile picture, for when you're on video, for when you show up on a podcast, etc. Your first impression really matters. And there's 4 things you can do to optimize this for success. Number 1 is your static, and this is your body, so to speak. And if you want to be perceived as a reliable, energetic go-getter, then becoming fit will go a long way in helping you accomplish that. And I know what you're probably thinking. I'm listening to a Tech Talk podcast. Now he's telling me to go to the gym. Well, honestly, yes, I am. And it's going to make you look better. When you're online, in most situations, you are the product. And we want to make you as attractive as possible so more people will swipe right on you. And of course, more people will engage with your content online, of course. Now, there's a lot of different paths we could go. I think it boils down to eating less and moving more, but working out, going to the gym, going for a run, Soul Cycle, CrossFit, Orange Theory, whatever floats your boat, take care of your body. I want you to live a very long life. Number 2 is dynamic, and this is your body language. And in person, depending on the study you want to cite, about 60% of communication is nonverbal. And so excellent posture and a friendly face will go a very long way. And think about this, what does it look like when you shake someone's hand? What does it look like when you enter a room or when you listen to somebody? Your body language is speaking for you tremendously, and especially online, this really matters. So if you haven't really focused on good, proper body language, now's a good time to do it. The third part of a first impression is your self-presentation. These are the clothes that you're wearing. And I know there's a lot of people here in DC, a lot of interns where I live that have never seen a tailor in their life, and it really shows. But really, at the end of the day, dress for the part, right? And make sure your wardrobe is tailored, clean, neat, pressed, stylish, and appropriate. Now, I remember back in my career when I was just getting started, I wore a suit to work every single day. And it was the same suit. I don't think most people knew that at the time, but I wore, a different shirt, different tie, but the same suit every single day. And quickly, I got perceived as being the boss, and eventually I became the boss, and now of course I am. And it all came from making sure that I'm wearing the appropriate clothes at the right time. If you want to be the boss, you got to dress like the boss. And number 4 is your circumstance. A famous billionaire once said, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." And that's absolutely the case. Another way to phrase it is you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and that translates online. Who are you communicating with? Whose photos are you getting tagged in? This really affects your first impression. If there's a famous VIP that says, "Go follow you on Twitter," then that's going to be a tremendously positive first impression. But if my first impression of you is with those party pictures, back from college or high school, it's not going to be a good first impression. So, we definitely got to focus on the people around us. Another analogy here that I saw that was particularly important was crabs in a bucket. And essentially, there was a bunch of crabs in just this little pale bucket. And one crab gets and crawls all the way to the top. And it's in the crab's inherent nature, if one crab is trying to escape the rest of them, to pull it back down so it suffers the same fate as the rest of them. And in a lot of ways, that's what happens. If you are surrounding yourself with people that you're lifting up or not giving you the right energy, that's going to weigh you down. And like I said, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Focus on the people around you. All right, let's go ahead and hop over to part 3, the final part of episode 8 of Tech Talk. Hope you've been enjoying all of this. I know I have, and we're here every Tuesday as always. But of course, part 3 is a success story of somebody or something doing amazing things on the World Wide Web. And today I wanted to shout out a podcast, and this is really for anybody who wants a winning mindset. And the podcast is Real AF by Andy Frisella. And this is a spinoff. He used to have another one called the MF CEO Project, also a fantastic podcast. Go check out this man on your favorite podcasting platform. But if you are in the business of wanting to get better, you want to, kind of have that personal trainer in your ear, so to speak. You go to the gym, the personal trainer will tell you to do one more rep. And for some reason, no one calls them out. They always lie to us, like 1 more rep. And then they say, all right, do 1 more rep. Like, what? You said 1 more? I don't get it. But anyways, having that personal trainer for business, for entrepreneurial efforts is definitely a positive thing to do. And maybe now it's 1 more phone call, 10 more minutes in the office, 1 more Zoom, and you'll have a lot more success in your career. So if you want that boost, you want that good energy, that motivation, check out Real AF by Andy Frisella. All right, friends. Well, this is bringing me to the end of episode 8. As always, I'm always curious what you think. Leave a comment down below, hit me up in my DMs, let me know what you think. And if this was valuable enough, if you picked up anything from this podcast, please tell your friends about this. I really encourage you to share. That's how we grow 100% organically, and it's because of you. So thank you all for listening and for being a part of this. And I just want to leave you with a quote, as always, for the week. And the quote is from Allison Bird in The Elevated Entrepreneur. You have to go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. And take note over the course of this week, which rooms you enter. Where are you being celebrated and where are you being tolerated? And start to place a heavy emphasis on the places you're being celebrated, and your life is going to lift much better for good. So really appreciate you all. Thank you as always. I'll catch you next week, next Tuesday, same time, same place, as long as Instagram isn't down. And until then, peace.